The Mystery of Oak Island, 200 Years of Treasure Hunting and No Treasure Found. In 1795, three teenage boys, Daniel Maginnis, John Smith, and Anthony Vaughan, rowed to the uninhabited Oak Island in Mahone Bay, Nova Scotia, and began exploring. They found a circular depression in the ground beneath an old oak tree. The branches of the tree showed marks consistent with a tackle block having been hung from it. They began digging. At 2 feet, they found a layer of flagstones. At 10 feet, a platform of rotting oak logs. At 20 feet, another platform. At 30 feet, another. The platforms continued every 10 feet as far down as they could dig, which was about 30 feet before the boys had to give up. When excavations resumed in the early 19th century by a syndicate called the Onslow Company, they found the log platforms continuing every 10 feet to a depth of about 90 feet. At the 90-foot level, they found a large stone with an apparently encoded inscription. The inscription was later claimed to have been deciphered to read, 40 feet below, 2 million pounds lie buried. Whether this decipherment was accurate or invented to encourage investors has been disputed ever since. When the excavators reached 93 feet, water began flooding the tunnel, and by morning, it had filled to sea level. Subsequent investigation revealed the flooding was not accidental. Engineers discovered that a series of drainage tunnels, running from the sea to the excavation site, had been constructed to automatically flood the shaft when it reached a certain depth. The tunnels connected to 2 beaches on the island, drawing seawater into the money pit at a rate that no pump of the era could overcome. This flood trap was a sophisticated engineered system, one that required enormous resources to construct, and was clearly designed to prevent unauthorized recovery of whatever lay below. Over the following 2 centuries, 8 major excavation companies have attempted to reach the bottom of the money pit. Each has been defeated by the flooding system. Each has found fragments of evidence suggesting something significant lies below: spruce wood and charcoal at depth, a piece of sheepskin parchment with letters on it, a piece of chain, coconut fibers, extraordinary in Nova Scotia, where coconuts are unknown, a human hand found in a drill core. None of these finds have produced a definitive picture of what is there, or who put it there. 6 men have died in connection with Oak Island excavations. In 1965, 4 men were killed in a shaft when a gasoline pump generated carbon monoxide fumes in the enclosed space. A local prophecy, often cited in connection with the island, states that 7 people must die before the treasure can be found, and that the sea will claim the island. Whether this is a genuine historical prophecy or a later invention is itself unclear. 6 deaths have occurred. The treasure has not been found. Theories about what is buried on Oak Island span an extraordinary range. The treasure of the Knights Templar, including the Holy Grail, the original Shakespeare manuscripts proving Francis Bacon wrote the plays, Marie Antoinette's missing jewels smuggled to Nova Scotia during the French Revolution, the original crown jewels of France, the lost treasure of the pirate Captain Kidd, the Ark of the Covenant. Each theory requires a specific historical narrative to get the treasure to Oak Island, and none has been confirmed by anything found in the excavations. The most credible theory, at least in terms of physical plausibility, is that Oak Island was used as a cache site by a colonial-era privateer or a group with significant engineering resources. The coconut fiber found on the island was used in the 17th and 18th centuries as ship ballast. The flood tunnel engineering is consistent with knowledge held by military engineers of the period. The most likely candidates, based on historical research, are either British military engineers in the late 18th century or the original French colonists of Acadia, both of whom had the means and the presence in the region. Whatever lies at the bottom of the money pit, if anything remains after 200 years of disruptive excavation, has cost tens of millions of dollars to not find. It has consumed the lives and fortunes of dozens of investors and treasure hunters. It continues to be pursued today by 2 brothers from Michigan whose quest is documented by a television series. The flood trap is still active. The sea still defends its secret, and the hole in the ground on a small island in Nova Scotia still represents what may be the greatest unanswered question in treasure hunting history. Is there actually anything down there?